This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Check the link in the description to get 2 months for free and learn a new skill. All right, can we start?
Wait.
Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing okay at home, hopefully. This is Marta, by the way.
Hello, nice to meet you.
She was traveling with me in Morocco. I think that at this moment, everyone on the planet has been influenced by this coronavirus, and today I want to tell you about our own story. So this is how the coronavirus almost got us stuck in Africa. So last month, me and Marta, who also makes videos, by the way, she's working on some cool projects and she's going to return to YouTube soon.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So I was saying in February, we decided to go on a road trip from Portugal all the way to Morocco by car and to make some videos about it. And we didn't have a plan, we just marked some places on a map that we wanted to visit, and that's it. We were just driving and enjoying the trip. We left Portugal on the 24th of February, and just for reference, this is how the situation was in Europe at that time. There were 200 cases in Italy, there were no registered cases in Portugal, and so everything was pretty much in the beginning. So we went on our trip without thinking too much. I think we didn't even consider like canceling the trip or something.
No.
Because everything was in the beginning.
And everything was going well. We were enjoying our trip. We weren't watching the news very often.
Not at all.
And I don't think we were aware of how fast the situation in Europe was developing.
It was the 12th of March, so around 2 weeks into our road trip, when my family called me and told me that the situation in Europe was getting worse and that we should return to Portugal as soon as possible.
Just for you to have an idea, the last time that we had checked, Italy had around 800 cases confirmed, and when Bernardo's family called him, it was at 15,000.
So as I was saying, at that moment we were traveling in Morocco for over 2 weeks and we were very down south. We were in a town called Tafraout. So I just told my parents, there's no way we are going back to Portugal now. That would take us a really long time. And on that day, I think that we agreed on continuing our road trip as planned. Plus the situation in Morocco was very normal. There were just 2 cases confirmed. So we just bought a small bottle of hand sanitizer and that's it.
So the next day we were driving further south to a beach town called Sidi Ifni, but we were following the news this time, and the situation in Spain was getting more serious with around 5,000 cases confirmed. I was still a bit too relaxed about it. I don't think I was seeing how serious this all was, but Bernardo was more worried about it than me.
No, I was like not super worried, but yeah, a little bit.
Yes, as you should. And especially because you didn't want us to get stuck in Morocco.
No.
And I didn't either during a pandemic.
So at the end of the day, when we finally reached Sidi Ifni, I told Marta, I think we should start driving north tomorrow. We don't need to rush, we can take a couple days, but my idea was to get back to Europe in about 3 or 4 days. And I think that we agreed on that, right?
So we found a hotel and we checked in and we were talking to the woman at the reception. And she was very nice, we were just chatting, and then she tells us, today they cancelled all ferries from Morocco to Europe because of that virus. And we were like, what?
Yeah, we were not expecting that.
No, we had no idea that this was going on.
We didn't panic, but we didn't want to get stuck in Morocco, so our only option was to fly back to Europe. All flight connections to Spain and Italy had been cancelled already, so it was just a matter of time till they canceled the flights to Portugal too. But we had no other options, so we just booked a flight to March 16.
So our plan was to drive to the airport the following day, and that would be, I think, 7 hours.
Yeah. Because we were very down south at that moment.
And we would have to leave the car in Morocco and come back later when
this whole situation is over.
Yes. to get the car. It was not the perfect plan, but it was our only option, I think.
So we went to sleep, and the following day when I woke up, the first thing I saw was all the flights to Portugal had been cancelled as well. And at that moment we thought, well, we are stuck in Morocco, we have no options. And I think we were okay with that, like it was out of our control, so.
Yeah. It was the only thing that we could do apparently.
Yeah.
But the idea of being trapped in Morocco, far away from our families, somewhere with a different language, just the two of us alone, it was a bit scary, especially if things were to get worse, which was of course likely to happen.
So when we discovered that we were basically stuck, I called a friend of mine who lives in Morocco to see if he could help us to find a place where he could spend, I don't know, like at least a couple weeks until this pandemic is over. But to my surprise, he told me that it would be wiser to go back to Europe while we had a chance. He told me that there were still ferries going from Ceuta to Spain, and he also said that there were around 30,000 caravans driving to Ceuta in order to return to Europe.
And Ceuta, if you don't know, is a small piece of land in the north of Morocco that belongs to Spain. And the Spanish government was still allowing foreigners that were stuck in Morocco to return to Europe through Ceuta.
So at that moment it was pretty clear. Our goal was to get to Ceuta as soon as possible. The only problem was that we were 1,000 kilometers from there, or around 10 hours driving. And I was the only one with a driver's license because Marta doesn't have one. But yeah, we couldn't lose that opportunity. And we were already driving north when that same friend sent me a video of the Marrakesh airport with thousands of people trying to get on airplanes, everyone without a mask. And at that moment we were afraid to get on a similar situation because there were 30,000 caravans driving to Ceuta. On our way we stopped to have lunch, and I remember that in Morocco everything was still super normal. Everyone was just chilling at the restaurant. There were even some guys playing the guitar.
So we were unsure of what to do, and during lunch we were thinking, okay, this is insane, right? We're going to go somewhere with thousands of people. We have no protection, no masks. So maybe it's best if we just stay in Morocco and try to wait until things calm down a bit.
The only problem was that we didn't know how long this would last.
So we were almost sure that we were going to stay in Morocco when we received a message from the Portuguese embassy, and they were asking everyone from Portugal that was in Morocco to return to Portugal as soon as they could.
And at around the same time, we stopped at a pharmacy which just happened to have some gloves and masks. So we just stocked up and we started our 1,000 kilometers journey to Ceuta. We have changed our plans today, like what, more than 10 times?
Yes, we keep going back and forth because we don't know if the best decision is to stay here in Morocco and wait it out, or just try to get to Portugal while we have the chance, because the border is also an area where more people are circulating, and
it's more likely
that things get propagated. I don't know. And it wasn't too bad. We were listening to podcasts and listening to music and talking.
I thought it would be much worse, and we just did a few stops to get some food and stretch our legs. What you got?
Chocolate. Do you want some?
Are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can have some.
They have sandwiches, like big sandwiches.
Can
if
I
you want to
touch
get
this?
one.
Did the guy touch the bag? I'm getting obsessed about this. Like, look at this. We have been cleaning our hands every half an hour with alcohol.
Yes, and we have a whole stash of more things here. Like this and this.
Yeah. We are really trying to avoid that virus. Oh yeah, and I remember that I was afraid every time we stopped at the tolls.
Yes.
It was getting late and I wanted to drive all the way to Ceuta to make sure that we were not the last ones to get there.
Yes, but I thought it was best to stop and to sleep for a few hours.
Yeah, because I was very sleepy and yeah, it was...
Yes, it was gonna be a stretch if you kept driving without stopping. So we ended up stopping in a little village and we slept for some hours in the car.
Good night. The following morning, we woke up really early to try to get to Ceuta as soon as possible because we wanted to avoid the crowds.
Before we crossed the border to Ceuta, we stopped to put on our masks and our gloves because we wanted to minimize the risk of contaminations because we were going to be handling our passports, talking to officers, so we just wanted to be extra cautious.
To our surprise, when we got to Ceuta, everything was very calm. There were just about 30 caravans trying to get on a ferry, and everything worked as planned. We got on a ferry, and a few hours later, we were back in Europe.
When we arrived in Spain, I remember thinking everything was really calm compared to Morocco.
Yeah, all the streets were basically empty.
Yes, there were no cars, very few people on the streets, so nothing like Morocco.
Then we crossed the border to Portugal, that was still open at the time. And yeah, we made it back home safely, and we have been inside since then, and everything is okay so far.
So far, yeah. We've seen pictures of Ceuta a few days later with endless queues of caravans, and they are in full lockdown now. I think they're even using the military to get people to stay inside. So we're glad that we returned in time. Yeah.
It's insane what this virus is causing in the world. This is just our personal story, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of you might have similar stories. Never in my life I thought I would live something like this. I had so many plans for this next year, so many trips that we'll have to wait. I think that we can take this rare occasion where we all have the same challenge to understand once again that we are all together in this and we are all one. And hopefully this gives us a new perspective to tackle other challenges that threaten our planet. And now that you have all this free time, you might be at home looking for things to do. And this is why I wait. And that's why I want to talk about Skillshare that was kind enough to sponsor today's video. Skillshare is this online learning community especially for creators, and they have more than 25,000 classes in topics like video, photography, cooking classes, business, whatever you can think of. And the premium membership gives you unlimited access, so you can join as many classes or communities as you want. Recently I watched this class by Dan Mace about how to tell a story, and I even got some ideas for this exact video. And also this one by Caleb and Niles from the Moment YouTube channel about how to shoot a cinematic video with your phone. And with these two tutorials, you're pretty much ready to start your own channel. So thank you so much Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. The first 500 of you to click the link in the description will get 2 months for free, so you can start learning new things while you are at home. And then the annual subscription is less than $10 a month, so it's very affordable. So thank you for watching, I hope you liked this video. Also, thank you so much, João, for helping us figure this situation out. And yeah, if you liked it, make sure that you subscribe because there's more content from Morocco coming soon. And also don't forget, come here. Don't forget to check Anna's channel because she's going to return to YouTube soon. And she's working on some videos from Morocco as well. Yeah. So yeah, stay safe, stay at home.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. And bye-bye.
See you soon.
For now, I think